Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it? You guys already fucking know, man. I ain't gotta even tell you anymore. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. But I will, because I know the deal. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I got it together. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like Floyd to the Mayweather. Ba-ya-ba. Ba-ya-ba. Ba-ya-ya. Orderly guard! Fuck you. And let's get it going, right? And in Menudo style in a direct fashion, man, we're not even gonna play today. I ain't in the mood. I ain't in the mood to sugarcoat things and act all nice and play Mr. Nice Guy. That's not me today. Today, it's me against the world. You know, straight up. And I'm hoping to give you guys some entertainment, and I'm hoping that you guys like this, because it's a true story, man. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. These are all facts. You know, in 1993, I was incarcerated in the Youth Authority. I was in Nellis, having been there already for a minute. You know, I was up in it. I was doing my time. And I'm not going to sit here and act like it was the best time in the world, because it wasn't. You know, being in Norteño at that time in Southern California, it was all bad, right? It was bad situations. Every day we woke up not knowing if it was our last. Every day I woke up wanting to go right back to sleep, because I already knew the situation and the things I was going to go through. There was a whole bunch of trials and tribulations. And as a young kid, I don't wish that upon anyone. It can never be repeated. People can never feel how I felt. You know, I was in no man's land. That's it. And I was willing to do what I had to do, but I didn't want to, man. Hey, I wish I was like every other kid on the streets, waking up and worried about what I was going to eat and playing Nintendo. But that wasn't the case. See, when you're hard-headed and you're gangbanging and you're in the mix, well, guess what? That's it. Whatever comes out, comes out. You know what I mean? Let's bake cookies straight up. And we were baking. We were marinating. You know, the administration sent us down south and decided to just leave us there and forget about us. And whatever the fuck happened, happened. Now, I got homeboys nowadays that I still communicate with that, you know, every time we get together, it's the topic of conversation. All the trials that we went through. Damn, you remember this, you remember that. Now, we were placed on different compas. So some of their stories are going to differentiate from my story. We're going to be different, Ese. But it's all the same old love song, man. It's like a Tony Braxton song. We're trying to unbreak our hearts because our hearts got broken there. You know, maybe our mannerisms, our self-esteem, maybe the way we carried ourselves, our idealisms and the gangsterism, that didn't get broken. We refused to let that go. But man, there was plenty of times that people were ready to give up. Like, damn, bro, this shit is too much. You know, how can they wish this much hatred upon us? What did we do? Well, I'm going to tell you what we did. We gangbanged. We were really out there fucking thinking that we were somebody, and they wanted to put us to the test. They pushed us to the limit. Only we got no money at the end of that. We just kept our asses locked up and caught more time. Now, the stories in 1993s are different. I could sit here and tell you fucking numerous fucking things that happened in 1993. That was the year of wigglization for us. Nothing but a G thing was popping. It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. And guess what, homies? We were stuck right there on the compas we were stuck in. You know, for people that don't like YA stories and they think it's all kiddie stuff, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, there's not been a prison that I've been to that was more dangerous than the Youth Authority. And that's facts, man. Anyone else after the year of 1997, 98, I don't know. I can't call it. I don't know what they went through. You know what I mean? I don't know if they fucking started doing yoga and fucking started communicating on a different level. But while we were there, it was all knives, battery packs, and hand grenades. People weren't playing. They're trying to blow your whole top off. In 1993, I'm sitting there. And all of a sudden, the compa goes quiet. And I'm going to tell you why it goes quiet. Because in walks an individual like we hadn't seen before since I've been there. Now I'm telling you, there were some big-ass Southsiders there and big-ass brothers. I was a young, skinny, ugly cat, right? I wasn't shit. I wasn't nowhere near the top of the food chain. You know, I was the fucking Velociraptor compared to the T-Rex, right? But I still was about my business. But Vatos are walking in, right? They're bringing new people in. And one of the guys they're bringing in, he stands head and shoulders above the rest. This Vato was about 375, 400 pounds. Big boy. Big old Uso, right? Orderly was like watching WWE and watching Roman Reigns walk in. They're about to walk in. Acknowledge me. Everybody was like, God damn, look at them. They know my money's on him, right? Here comes this big old Uso towering in, this big old Tongan, and it happens to be Chip Seau, right? Tony. Junior Seau's brother. Now, at this time, we didn't know Some people did. You know, this is when Junior Seau was at the top of the, man, he was in the food chain, way up there, bro. He was a linebacker for the, or whatever position he played for the San Diego Chargers at that point. Everybody knew who he was. Now, I'm doing time down south. Of course we know who the fuck Junior Seau is, right? Anyways, his brother walks in. And his brother wasn't no chump, wasn't no sucker. I remember the first day this guy got in, you know, he was representing Bloods to the own power. They've about to walk in, no whack, not like you. For real, this is for real guy, right? He walked in and let everybody know he was out that Tri-City area, that Oceanside Bloods. And motherfuckers was like, damn, right? And we were tripping. I was tripping personally. I can't speak on other people, but I was tripping because I was like, damn, this Vato literally has a fucking brother who's in the hall, you know, who's going to be in the Hall of Fame, a straight good ass football player. They're about to walk in on some gangbanging shit for reals. He was just establishing, hey, this is what I am. This is what it is. This is what I represent. And I'm going to tell you right now, at that time, I had met a lot of Bloods, Pirus, Damus, all that. And they were all about that business. There wasn't very many of them. And the ones that were there, you know, would handle their business because they knew they had to. This Vato was in there aggressive. He was on the offensive. And not, his brother might have been a defensive player. This Vato was playing offense, right? He came in that motherfucker like, hey, anybody that wants it, line them up. This Vato, like I said, was 400 pounds, 6 foot, whatever, right? Came in pretty big. Chip was big. And I remember at this time, there was a Vato, an Africano brother, a black dude that I used to chop it up real tough. His name was H-Bone from Hoover. Now, H-Bone had a lot of respect there. You know, he had that prior to the Northerners getting there. He had been there for a while, maybe 4 or 5 years, even before us getting there. So he was an older Vato, like 16, 17, about to be 18 or whatever. Or he could have been 18. I don't know. I fucking didn't sit there and ask for his ID card. You know what I mean? I wasn't like SPM trying to fuck a 13-year-old. I don't know what was going on with him. All I knew was he was up there in age compared to what I was. I was like 13, 12. Anyways, he was cool gente though. You could chop it up with them. Like I said, I used to be a spade partner of mine every once in a blue moon. I liked H-Bone from Hoover. It was a cool dude. Anyways, I see the way he looks at Chip as soon as Chip walks in, right? And one thing about H-Bone is you have to earn your respect. You don't just fucking get it just because of who your brother is or how big you are or what water you're from or hood you're from. None of that was going to play with this guy. There was automatic fucking animosity. You could have cut it with the knife, right? There was tension. And Chip wasn't paying no one no never mind, bro. You got to understand, this was a mean guy. He wasn't the nicest guy. You know, anyone who did time with him, they'll tell you he was probably a cool motherfucker. And I did conversate with him a few times. But he wasn't like he was just a cool and like, oh yeah, let's bust a spread together. It's all good, man. Nah, he was like, fuck you and where you're from. Straight up. This is where I'm from, homie. And this is number one. So everybody was like, oh shit. I remember the Southerners were like, that's black business. Everybody was like, fuck that, right? Anyways, H-Bone, I remember he was, that night we were playing cards and he was being like, not his normal self. I was like, what's up, Bone? What's cracking with it? And he was like, ah, little homie. He said, let me tell you something, bro. He said, this new cat, man, I don't know. The buzzing cousin is that this cat is supposed to be that one, man. I ain't impressed. I said, no, that's a big motherfucker right there. You know, that's an Uso right there. They're big, right? He said, no, I ain't impressed, bro. You could tell me anything you want to tell me and be as big as you want to be, bro. But that doesn't mean I won't knock your block off, right? So this guy, I guess Chip feels the animosity coming from him. He feels the flavor, right? He actually walks up on us. Facts. True story. I'm sitting there counting my books, right? You know, I got the Queen, the Jack Spade. I think I got 7 books, you know what I mean? I can make it happen, right? This fool walks up, he's like, what's up, man? Hey, Chip, Tri-City Bloods, or whatever he said, right? And H-Bone was like, Hoover, right? I was like, oh, I did one of these. I backed up, you know what I mean? There's about to be nectar in this motherfucker. You ever seen that dude on TikTok? There's about to be, or what's his name? That's TikTok, nectar, right? There's about to be nectar. Either they're going to fight or fuck. I don't know. But right now, I don't want no juices on me, especially from this big motherfucker. You see this, there's juice everywhere, right? And he's like, what's up? And so they it's kind of like a standoff. They're looking at each other. He's looking at him. He's looking at him. And H-Bone said, man, you got a big old blockhead. Don't make me knock that chip off your shoulder. The way he did it, I'll never forget that lyric. It was like a sugar-free lyric. You know, it was like trying to knock it back. I was like, oh, shit. And Chip was like, well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? So they already established right there. That's how it was in YA. They didn't like each other. Get up out my space. We can see each other in the bleeding eyes, the blinds. We can do it however in the day room right now. It's whatever. So they just look at each other. Chip gets up, walks off. H-Bone said, man, I don't like that cat, bro. I'm going to have to put hands on him. Now, H-Bone was a notorious fighter. He was, like I said, up prior to this point of this guy Chip coming, he was that man. So I'm sitting there like telling the homie, damn, bro, you see that? The two Africanos. Now, of course, we considered, and I'm going to be real, man, we considered Chip. There was no other's car where it wasn't like prison where the Usos and the Asians functioned together. It was none of that. Because this Vato came in as a blood, he was going to hang around with other bloods, which were black, you know? So we considered him in the black car. So I was like, damn, these brothers are about to go at it, bro. This is real. Up until this point, we hadn't seen real like this. We've seen a couple of Vatos from Grape Street get off with a couple other Vatos. We've seen a couple of Vatos from A-Trade fight with some Hoovers. We've seen a couple of Vatos from the 60s get off with some, you know, some A-Trades. We've seen it, but we never seen the tension like this. This was different, eh? Especially for the Youth Authority. These were the big boys coming to play. You know, this was like Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Who was going to get slammed here? So anyway, H-Bo's like, yeah, man, fuck that cat. I ain't tripping, bro. If he fucking walks up on me again, it's gonna be terrible for him. Horrible. You know, it's gonna be Rambo shit. So I'm like, all right, and I can see Chip over there talking to the Bloods. Well, Bloods all approached the Crips. At this time, the Hoovers they were grooving, yet they were still cripping. The hats were tipping. I'm telling you, this is just how it was. So the Crips and the Bloods, they're actually gonna go. I'm like, God damn, they're about to bang on something other than wax. It's about to go down right here. You know what I mean? Hey, we got a problem. We got a problem, right? I'm like, oh, fuck. And up until this point, it's been north and south, man. Norteños, Rangers, just guerra, war, going to the school area, getting off behind the bliña. I mean, it was like, we're used to this shit. It became like fucking breathing air or eating biscuits and gravy on Saturday. It was normal. It was something we always did, you know? Or eating that Grand Slam Sunday breakfast and hoping no one spit in it. That's Y games. So we're seeing all the Crips and the Bloods on the yard, and we're like, oh, fuck, hey, just stay out the way, bro, just stay out the way. Who do we back in this situation? Shit, we back up, we smoke a frau and watch. It's finally our time to shine. And these guys decide that for no other reason, everybody decides that they're going to have a head-up fade in the school area. Now, let me tell you about the makeup of the school area. This is what would happen. We'd go to chow early in the morning, like 5, 6 in the morning. We'd go to chow, and you'd wipe. Every compa had their own time to go to chow. So, you know, the fucking cops would be communicating on the CBs, and they'd be like, okay, Madison, time for chow, or Kennedy, depending on what compa you were on. And at this time, we were on fucking, I believe we were on Kennedy or Madison. I forget which one. They were right across from each other. But they were like, go to chow. So we went to chow. Oompa, loompa, doopity ding. Right, we're getting our doopity dee on. Go to chow, we eat. And that's how it was. You'd come back, you'd get ready. You wash your face, wash your hands, because in about 20, 30 minutes, it's time for the people that go to school. So I guess they had arranged it, and I didn't know prior to this. You know, we don't know all their business. They don't tell us. But I guess they had arranged to see each other in the quad area. They were going to rumble, not on the compa, not in the bliñas. They wanted fucking everybody to see what time it was, right? And I guess, according to what the fucking everyone was saying, this Vato Chip had major, major hands. Now, no one knew, really. They were basing it off of who his brother was, how big he was, the aggression. I look at the eye of tiger in his eyes. We knew what H-Bo was about. I haven't seen him put people on their pockets, turn them inside out, inside them. I've seen him do a lot of horrible and terrible things to people, right? So everybody was like, ooh, damn, who do you think's got it? H-Bo, fucking Chip. Let me tell you guys something right now, gente. When you get into the school area, your compa lines up or whatever, and you walk in a straight line, there was this metal detectors to make sure you have a piece on you, right? A pedazo. And there was like a little office right here to the right. You go through these metal detectors and it opens up to a quad area. When I say quad area, it was like all concrete on the bottom, and then there was like little hills on the side. And over here on the left side, there was some of those fucking, you know, those traders that they put for classes. Then in the back, it was all brick classes, and up to the right, it was like a hill, and then there was classes up here. I remember I used to fucking have this class, Mr. Reinhardt. I think it was classroom 19. I don't know how many times I got jumped there, right? And several other classes. Anyways, when you walk through these metal detectors, it opens up to the fucking quad, and it is what it is. We had melees there, riots, so I already know that's the spot. Now, there is also a spot called the bin. If you go around it, it's more of the blinds area, and you can chunk them there too. Ask WAC 100 about that. He knows. There's a fucking bin. So I'm thinking, hey, damn, these fools are gonna get off. Where's it gonna get off? Nah, hell no. This motherfucker Chip walked straight to the middle of the quad, looked around. Are you not entertained? Like he was in fucking the Colosseum in Rome or something, right? This Vato went in there and just stood there like this. Big ass Uso. Look at the fucking thumbnail does him no justice. He must have been a little kid. This fool was like 400 pounds like this. Big old dude, right? That motherfucker H-Bone, man, he came sliding through. He's about 10 people behind me. I walked immediately up. Like I said, I had classroom 19 up there. I was about to get jumped by Southsiders. That's another story, right? So I walk up there doing my thing, and I'm looking down with the homeboy Spokio de Salas. Like, fuck, bro, what's going to crack? And this Vato comes walking through. Now, before you guys, oh, Gunners, fake stories. Nah, this is real, man. Facts, right? You better ask somebody. This motherfucker H-Bone came through and them fools knuckled up right there in the middle of the quad and let me eat, pobre si. These vatos were trying to have each other's heads up their asses faster than a rabbit gets boned, right? It was bad, homie. Boom, 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 boom. Power. None of this offense, defense, no, just boom. Every hit was solid. This motherfucker was trying to pick H-Bone up like this. You're trying to guillotine him and just put pressure, right? This motherfucker H-Bone was catching with tiger uppercuts, right? It was devastating. These guys both got theirs. I'm going to be honest with you guys because I can't lie to you. I'll die with you before I lie with you, right? H-Bone got beat up that day, right? But he got his. But that motherfucker Chip was devastating. He was, every hit he threw was like a thunderbolt from the San Diego Chargers. Right? He was fucking them off. They did their thing. Cops came, maced him up. Had to beg fucking Chip to go down. Please, sir, please, right? He finally got on one knee. They handcuffed him with 2 fucking pairs of handcuffs. He was so big. And took these guys to the oil. And they were back on their compa like within a few hours. That's how it was. You know, are you guys cool? Are you guys cool? Yeah, I'm cool. Boom, right back. They ended up becoming real cool friends. They ended up busting spreads together. They just, that's one thing about YA when it comes to the brothers, man. Maybe not the North and South. We had that respect, like, hey, all right. You know, when you get down in the blinds, there was no more tension there, but it was still, it could pop at any time. We're not going to eat together, fucking hug, kick back, fucking, none of that. None of that was going to happen. When it came to the brothers, it was different, man. There was a different amount of level of respect. It was more like, okay, you're my friend now. You're my homie. And they ended up becoming real cool friends, man. I remember, you know, H-Bone was like, you know, this motherfucker hard, with his eye like that. This motherfucker hard, right? And Chip was over there just like, man, on bloods, right? And what it was. Now, I thought it was funny doing time with him, man, and I wanted to talk about it because I didn't know this guy's story. Like I said, I only talked to him a couple of times. I can't sit here and say we were best friends. That's a lie. You know, we weren't. But we were on the same compa together. And at that time, we had football teams. And Madison and Kennedy would come together, and our team was called the Rock House. Then you had Adams Baum, and you had Hayes and Tyler, and all these different teams. You know, sometimes they put compas together. Like I said, we were the Rock House. We were together. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, that fool used to play running back. Oh, man, he'd have about 10 Southsiders on his ears trying to pull him. That fool would just be dragging fools. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I was like, man, that's the biggest running back in the world. And everyone thought, oh, this fool's automatically can play good football because of who his brother is. And they used to shut the fucking visiting hall down for his brother to come see him. I always thought that was funny. Like, damn, man. They treated him like royalty. They treated him differently than they treated us. And he'd get the extra sack lunch. It was boxes at that time. The extra box lunch. You know, and I remember telling the cop, man, well, I think get the extra box lunch. But I like Ruffles too. I'm hungry, right? And he said, no, that's a big boy. He needs to eat. I'm like, what about me? That's I'm malnutrition. Look at me. I'm trying to win. Either way, this Vato got the extra look and the extra love. But I always tripped as I got older. I never forgot him, right? Even though we just did just a little speck of time together, it wasn't like we were together for years. I'll never forget because, you know, his brother, you know, passed away. And then I started thinking about, oh man, shit, I was locked up with Junior Seau's brother. And I told some homeboys that they're like, nah, hell nah. Why would that fool's brother be? And I'm like, no, everybody has that family member, man, that's in the mix. This Vato was truly dedicated, though. See, he wasn't just someone who hung around with Vatos. This Vato was hardcore, eh? This Vato was really about that blood shit, man. He was really, really hardcore. You know, I remember he was pushing that line hard, man. Ultimately, what ended up happening to him that I found out was, you know, he paroled. I think it was before the year 2000. He paroled anyways. I was already fucking in prison in the mix. But he paroles and he gets to playing football for a city college or something like that. And he's still in the mix, man. He's still gangbanging. He's still about that action. And he ends up going to a college party in 2000. I'm not sure what, 2002 or something. He ends up going to a college party and he gets shot in the head. He gets domed, right? Because of what he was in the mix of. Like I said, some people you run into, and it doesn't matter who their famous brother is or what they're about that shit, you know. But while I was there in the little time I did in YA, I did meet him, and you know, he was a gangster, man. He was a gangster. He truly believed in his cause, and that was it. Like I said, I only seen him fight one time. After that H-Bone fight, everybody was like, no, hell no. Hell no. You want my chips? Take them motherfuckers, eh? Right? They weren't tripping. And Chip was definitely eating them chips. So that was it. Anyways, that's my time. And anything I can speak on concerning Junior Seau's brother, I did do time with them. He was as real as they got. I respect his whole family. You know, it's tragic, I'm sure, losing your sons. you know, losing your brothers, your cousins, or whatever. You know, that family went through their shit, man, just like any other family. And you know, I'm just happy in life to know that I did a little bit of time with him, and I actually got to be, you know, in the area and see how he was. And, you know, because I hear a lot of people talking about him. They're like, oh, yeah, he wasn't all that. And I'm here to tell you from what I seen, yeah, he was about that shit. Anyways, with that being said, that's a true story, man. I just wanted to throw it out there, something a little different. I know you can go to other channels and watch the same old people argue back and forth. Right here, you're not going to see that, man. I'm just going to give you raw and real stories from what really happened from a real one. With that being said, let's move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that we got coming, man. We got a lot coming, but we got to go get it. You know, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's bringing everyone together, black and brown. That's first and foremost. And I wanted to say this, Hank, this is for fucking right here kicking it, right? If you're not getting my notifications like you should, it's because YouTube put them on personalized. You have to go back and put them on all, and then of course you'll hear everything I got to say and everything everyone else has to say. And yeah, all you other YouTubers thank me because I'm putting them up on game. With that being said, bang, bang.